credit Tennessee for coming in and playing, I thought, just a really good basketball game. And it was evident they were laser focused, probably lots of reasons. One, coming off a loss. Two, wanting to play well for their Oregon kids who played well tonight. I couldn't be more proud of this team. I thought, the first half certainly didn't go the way we would have hoped for various reasons. But to be down, I think, 17 and then to battle the way they did was unbelievable. The crowd was something, you dream about. I mean, that was a great day for women's basketball anywhere, not just in this state or this region, but anywhere. To have 6 Oregonians on the court battling like that was really special. And, would have loved to win it, but this is a game that I think is going to have a say in what this team does the rest of the way. I think we grew up a lot today. I love the fight in the heart, and this team, we have nothing to hang our head about. If we would have won it, it was one game. If we would have lost it, it's one game. It's one game. And learn lessons as we build towards conference. We'll be better for this one.
Jamie, did you like the final look you got? Did you feel good about it? Did you feel rushed at all?
No, I think I got a pretty clean look. I mean, Mercedes kind of closed out on me, and obviously she's very long, so I kind of had to fade on it and shoot over her arms. But, I mean, that's the best look we're going to get in that situation, so it was all right.
Scott, what was the biggest difference between the first half and the second half, offensively and defensively?
I think, you come out, we haven't seen anybody like Tennessee yet, first off. I mean, we hadn't seen a team that was that long, maybe that focused. I mean, they're non-shooters. Non-shooters were knocking shots down that they don't normally make. They haven't made yet this year. I mean, that was a laser-focused team. They didn't want to come out and get swept on the West Coast. That was evident. And so, that knocked us on our heels just a little bit. We missed a couple shots early that I thought maybe some doubt crept in, and so they capitalized on that. So I wouldn't have changed stuff early. I thought we forced them to take the shots we wanted them to take. I thought we got the shots we would have liked to have, and we missed, and so that's just the way it goes sometimes. I was just looking at this box score. If you would have told me before the game that they would only shoot 10 free throws, we'd out-rebound them by 15, we'd hold them to 9 offensive rebounds, and we'd only have 15 turnovers against their pressure, we win by 15. I would have said that, and yet, we just didn't shoot the ball like normal, and credit them for that, but a lot of things in this game went our way. I thought we played a pretty good game, it just didn't knock shots down first half.
Did you make any defensive adjustments, though, because they didn't get nearly the mid-range open looks in the second half that they did in the first?
Yeah, we did, and I think that was part of it. I think this game brought the fight out of this team, and that's why I said we're going to be a better team, for this game. We're down 17. I think we took an extra minute as coaches at halftime. Normally we get in 9-something. It was 8-something when I walked in. And what I heard was this team just talking, and there was hope, there was energy, this is what we got to do better in this. It was all positive. It was all, let's do this and we can do this. It was all that. And I don't know. I mean, they came out with a different level of energy and focus and fight, I thought. And they're like, in order for us to win this game, we're going to have to play perfect, and it's going to take everything we have. Nothing's gotten us to that point yet this year. And that's why we schedule Tennessee. That's why we schedule games like this. So, because you're going to have to get there to win it. Unfortunately, it came a little late, I thought. But the fact that this team became a team in some ways today, different than we've been.
Ruth and Jamie, could you, what Scott was saying a little bit, could you talk about how much this maybe down the line helps you, being down 17, the crowd going crazy, and you had a chance, I think 4 shots, maybe in the last minute to actually pull ahead. What will this do for the Beavers moving forward?
I think we can use this to define the rest of our season. We showed a lot of heart in that second half, just rallying together and getting the looks that we want and not giving them the looks on defense. And I think that we can just use this. Obviously, Beaver Nation was behind us, and we know that we have their support for the rest of the way, and I can't wait to get back on the court even on Monday, and just kind of take the next step for our season this year, because we're a new team, and I think that we're really defining what we're going to be this year.
I think it just really showed us that we need each and everybody on this team to be at their best, and we need to come together as one. Like, we really haven't had that situation, and that's when we started rallying, is when we were getting stops defensively, everyone was on the same page offensively, and we're just making hustle plays, and we're just one team together, and that's when we're at our best.
And I know you played against a real athletic team in Marquette recently, but this team had size also. Did it take maybe a little while, at least a quarter, just to adjust to that, even though you know it was coming? It's just the size along with the quickness and athleticism.
Yeah, I think they closed on, at least for me, they closed on shooting gaps really fast, and that definitely took some time to get used to. And but now we've seen it, and we're ready for that, and so it'll just help us down the line.
Jamie and Ruth, Gary kind of alluded to it, but you guys had a chance with maybe a minute or two left where I think you had grabbed 4 offensive rebounds, had 5 chances to go up 1. Just what was that series like, and how crushing is it when you can't convert when you have that many opportunities?
Honestly, I felt like we handled it very well. Everyone was calm. I didn't feel any rush in the situation, and we got open looks, and we got good looks from I think at least 3 different people in that scenario, and so we just gotta make at least one of those, But I think we got very good looks and played calm throughout.
In that series, Jamie, and especially in the second half, you guys spent a lot of energy coming back. Were you just exhausted? Did you have any legs left at that point?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we work for. We play against each other every day in practice, and we condition for that. And so, I mean, that didn't even cross my mind at all. It might have, shown, but I didn't feel it at all.
Scott, you said this could be a big turning point this season for you guys. We've been here before, right? After Stanford last year, you've talked about this after you guys lost to South Carolina. How do you make sure that the kids don't lose confidence, that the narrative doesn't become that, like, you can't get over the hump?
I think every year is different. I think each team has to, determine who they are. I think South Carolina was the last game of the year, then a new season starts. I think the confidence that this team had to come back comes from those things, and I think it just builds. Tennessee's good. How about this? Tennessee's jumping around on our court that they beat Oregon State. Think about that for a minute. Those of us who've been around for a while, that's a big deal. I know everybody sees us ranked 7th and all that, and this team, I believe, deserves it. I think we are that. But still, that's Tennessee jumping around and celebrating on our court that they beat us. That says a lot right there, I think. That's what it took to beat us. And so I think this team knows what it takes. What I'm saying is every year is new. And, we're going into a year off a Pac-12 title. It's a challenge to be hungry when you've raised a banner. That takes a crazy maturity. I know once conference starts and we see a team that we're just used to battling against on January 2nd, you get back into that mode where, okay, this is what it's like. But when you're going through a preseason, when you won last year, there's some tricky mental dynamics that go on. And it just takes lessons sometimes to learn them, And so I don't see that at all. I see this just as a constant progression, getting better and better. We played some young people. Marie played huge minutes for us today. Played very well. It was a big part of our comeback. Katie was the same. I think we're just continuing to grow, as a group. And so, I don't know. I think it's all just positive progression. I don't see that at all.
Would you like to try for more of these big games?
Well, I mean, you can only get so many. I mean, our whole conference is full of them. We've got a bunch coming in January, February, March. And so I think, too, a year like this, I think you got to build momentum. I think that's just part of the scheduling process. And so I love our schedule this year. I think having Tennessee, having a Notre Dame, and then the dynamic teams that we play within it. Cal Poly's coming in Monday. They're a very unique, proud team that's used to winning a lot of games. They're going to show us some different things. And so I like the way we do it. And, last year you look at North Carolina and Tennessee, those 2 games were pivotal moving forward. The year before, I thought what our team needed was one. Notre Dame was that one. And so I think it's really healthy for every team. I don't know why people don't have one of these on their schedule at least.
You just talked about Marie and the bigger lineup with Ruth and Marie in there at the same time. That was pretty much the group you were with throughout most of the comeback. You'd gone to that earlier in the year, kind of gone away from it the last few games. Just what did you like about that lineup, and maybe what can that do once conference play starts?
Yeah, well, that lineup defends the post very well. Marie is really a dynamic player and can score inside and outside. She handles it so comfortably on the outside, and then defensively she's quick enough. Today she was guarding a guard. I don't know if you noticed, but they went small when she was out there, and she's on 20, and did such a good job with angles and gaps and everything. I don't know if I don't think that we've gone away from it. I haven't noticed that. We've just gone with everybody, the last few games. So today, having her and Ruth, we've seen that quite a bit. We use that in practice a lot. That's a one of our go-to lineups, I believe. And so Marie's just a dynamic player and played big, loves the big moments. A year ago in Gonzaga, we saw that really for the first time. And today we saw it again, and it was impressive.
Coach, you mentioned the 6 Oregonians playing on the court at once.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a little bit about your guys' progression about playing these big games. Could you think down the line here, and maybe in a few years, maybe some of those girls that went abroad, going to try to get to stay in state, would like to see that?
Well, I think Katie's the first. Katie was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year, kind of recognized as the top player in our state, and she chose to stay home. Before that, it was Jordan and Jamie and Mercedes, and Kylie went to Stanford, and we didn't have a product maybe worthy. And that was the perception anyway. We hadn't won. We weren't cool because we hadn't won, and whatever, And so I couldn't argue with it. Do what you need to do, but we're going to keep recruiting. We want them to stay. So Katie's the first, and then we got another. We got the top player in Washington to sign with us this year. So I think that's just a normal progression. They're seeing that, Northwest players, and I'll include Ruth in that, fairly way up there north, have selected us because they believed in our vision. And, we talked about, hey, let's help fill this place together. Come help us and be a part of this, and we're going to build this program. And they've seen that it's happened. And so they're coming and they're saying, okay, now I understand why people are choosing Oregon State, and they see that they're taken care of, and we have a chance every night to win, and so hopefully that will continue.